So today I got on Twitter and I found out that the Snyder Cut of Justice League will be released on HBO Max in 2021. And I made the comment that I'm not excited about it because Zack Snyder also made Batman vs. Superman, which I didn't feel was a good movie. It was trash. And I swear to you, it was like the floodgates open with all these people that were coming out trying to defend Zack Snyder, not Zack Snyder, but trying to defend the Justice League movie and the Batman vs. Superman movie. And it was almost as if they were being paid to do so. Because they were all saying the same thing over and over and over again. And I did something which I normally don't do, is I deleted the tweet. And I deleted it because it was getting fucking boring. It was just constantly reading the same thing over and you're crying, and it was just whack. But it got me thinking. It was like, well, let's assume that these are real people for a second. Why would they be so upset with somebody else just not sharing the same opinion about a certain film? Maybe they think I'm a shill. Maybe they think that I don't really believe that these films were bad films, and I'm just saying that because I'm getting paid somehow. So, here's my confessions about Zack Snyder's DC Universe films. First up, we have here, just to show you really fast, the mythical unreleased version of the 2017 superhero film Justice League will finally see the light of day on Warner Media's HBO Max in 2021. I will actually be getting HBO Max because of all the other content that they have on there, but I'm not looking forward to seeing this movie, and I probably will skip it just like I did Justice League when it hit theaters. I saw Batman vs. Superman in theaters, and I was so disappointed with that film. And I think I have a goddamn right to be. You know what I'm saying? And when I saw that film, it was disappointing on many levels. Batman vs. Superman. The first one was, I never felt like the movie should have been made in the first place. I felt like they rushed to go get into a cinematic universe. They saw what was going on with Marvel, and they rushed to copy Marvel. And I don't think that any time that you're creating art, you should be rushing to copy somebody. You should be rushing to do exactly what they're doing. Instead, you should be trying to figure out ways to create new, beautiful things. And they were doing that with The Dark Knight Rises. And I felt like even Zack Snyder's original Man of Steel, even though it was a flawed movie, was still good enough to warrant. It was like the Batman Begins of the Superman, a new Superman series. And yeah, there were things that people complained about, but overall, it was a pretty good film. Now, the people that go out and they defend Zack Snyder seem to forget that Zack Snyder doesn't always make great films. And it's okay to not like a Zack Snyder film. I'll give you one right off the bat. Look, how about this one? Tell me if you like this movie. Right here. How about Sucker Punch? I watched this movie, and most of the people that I know that watch this movie don't like this movie. It's not a great movie. It has a little bit, this is a 6.0 out of 10 on 224,000 reviews. It's okay to not like a movie. It's fine. Where's the, all the hoopla over Sucker Punch? Nobody talks anything about this movie. It's pretty much forgotten. But the truth is, when it comes to Batman vs. Superman, I think there was this very legitimate wave of animosity towards the film, that there had to be some sort of, repercussion. Just like in The Dark Knight, not in The Dark Knight, and the end of Batman Begins. Aren't you worried about escalation? we get, we get bulletproof vests, they get armor piercing rounds. Escalation. There's always that goes on. And that's perfectly fine. Now, my issue with it is when you're not bringing anything constructive to it at all. When all you're doing is shouting out memes and little gifs and stuff, and you're not really... Now, I had a great conversation with one person on there who asked, why didn't I like it? I told him why I didn't like it. He said he didn't agree. And that was it. That was it. I wished him the best and said, hopefully this movie is going to be fantastic and that you really enjoy it, because obviously you enjoyed the first one. So when it came to Batman versus Superman, the movie I don't think it should have been made. There should have been a second Man of Steel, and that one should have further solidified the character, and Batman should have been introduced at the end of that movie, created some more excitement, and then moved on to Batman vs. Superman. Now, in Batman vs. Superman, they were rushing. The movie was called Batman vs. Superman. You didn't need to have Wonder Woman in it. Not that I have any problem with Wonder Woman. I truly enjoy Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. But you didn't need to have her there. And in sort of a background role until she suddenly comes out. It just, to me, it was like, we have to get these characters in there. Then they literally stopped the movie at one point to show you a bunch of the other characters. Well, you could have saved that for an end credits scene. It didn't have to be in the middle of the movie. If you're going to copy Marvel, might as well go all the way. Do the end credits scene. But they didn't want to do that. At least not with that portion. So the movie itself had good moments in it. The problem is that it was so over everywhere that I didn't feel invested in the character. I wasn't fully invested in Superman. I think I needed more from him. Much like the Dark Knight did for Batman Begins, another Man of Steel would have done for Superman. And this new Batman, I didn't have enough time to really adjust to Batman. You got to remember, Batman vs. Superman came out right after The Dark Knight Rises. And that was our Batman. For 3 films, our Batman was Christian Bale. We needed to get used to it a little bit. And that's not what happened. He was just thrusted in there. Then you go to Justice League, and Justice League comes out, and half of the characters haven't even been introduced in other places. By the time Avengers Endgame came around, nearly all those characters had either a standalone movie or had been in multiple films. By the time Avengers Endgame came out. Avengers Infinity War. By the first Avengers, everybody had been in a film where they were fully fleshed out. The entire team. With the exception of the Hulk. And the reason for that was because they had to the original plan was to have the Hulk as Edward Norton, but that didn't work out. So they had that backstory, and they even alluded to that backstory in the film. They didn't do that in DC. The most that we got was a shot of Aquaman pointing a trident or something at a screen, the Flash flashing, and it just didn't make any sense. Another thing that they did wrong was they had multiple versions of the same character. There's a Flash on TV, and then there's a Flash in the movies. And they don't mix. One of the cool things that DC did in the TV was they brought back like Brandon Roof's Superman, and they brought in the voice actor from Batman the Animated Series, whose name escapes me right now, even though I should know because that whole DVD box set is right behind me. And So you had that disconnect there. Well, my thing is if you were going to have a Flash on TV, be different. Put that Flash that's on TV and have him in the Justice League movie. At least then you had a connection to him. You had a whole TV show that you had of backstory and so forth. It's not like characters never existed that went from TV to film. The Naked Gun series is about, it was a TV show before called Police Squad. So you could do it. You can move a character from television to the movies, but they kept that separate. I never understood that either. They did not flesh out the characters enough for me to care about them. And so I had to solely rely on the story. And the story was not one that I was really interested in. Here's the thing about Batman vs. Superman. Doomsday in Batman vs. Superman was not good. It was a waste of that character. The death of Superman, spoilers, the death of Superman was wasted in that movie. How much cooler would it have been if you had a movie, Man of Steel 2, where he fights Doomsday on his own, right? And then when at the end of that film, after he dies, right? And you have a beautiful funeral scene for Superman. That he would go ahead, he would go, and then you would introduce Batman. And Batman would come in and sort of say, well, now that Superman's gone, I have to step up my game. And that's how we're introduced to Batman. And then we get a Batman film. The Ben Affleck Batman film, which, by the way, Ben Affleck, I believe, was a great Batman with really bad writing behind him. And he made the best out of that. So the people that don't like Ben Affleck, you're mean. And a solo Batman film. And then a solo Wonder Woman film. And you could do exactly what you did with Wonder Woman, have her in the past. And then maybe you don't have a solo Aquaman film. That's fine. Aquaman, he didn't need it at that point. He could have used that rub. Okay? And then you can reintroduce Superman in a Batman versus either Superman movie, or you can reintroduce him in a Justice League movie, just like they did. Even though me personally, I would have liked to have seen a Batman versus Superman movie where Batman was actually fighting an evil Superman, because that would have been awesome. But do something like that. Do something creative. But that's not what they did. They wanted to rush into this cinematic universe. And now, a lot of it they have to backtrack on, because they saw the success of the Joker. And the Joker exists outside of this cinematic universe. So now they have this disjointed universe, because they have the Joker and they have the Batman, which I'm not even sure right now if it does fall into this particular cinematic universe or not, or if it's going to be more aligned with the Joker, or if it's going to be just its own standalone thing. And then you have a successful Wonder Woman franchise, which you have Wonder Woman 1984 coming out. And then you also have a successful Aquaman franchise, which Aquaman 2 should be filming and will be released in the next couple of years. So by rushing into that cinematic universe, look where it left them. And then people want to celebrate that by saying, release the Snyder Cut. I can't celebrate that. The DCU should not be a hot mess right now. It just shouldn't. my favorite character is Batman. Since I was a small wee boy, since I was a wee lad sitting on my father's knee, my favorite character has been Batman. Do you think I like the way that Batman's being treated? How this series treated him? How they treated my man Ben Affleck? I think he made a great older Batman. I can't stand. So this is my confession here. My confession is this. I don't like hashtag release the Snyder Cut. I hope you enjoy the film. I won't watch it. I won't celebrate this franchise, this shared universe. Because it's a disjointed mess. And I don't want to send Warner Brothers the signal that I think that this is cool. I just don't. And if you like it, I want you to enjoy it. I want you, when you see it, because it's supposed to be 4 hours long, or maybe 4 hours long, and it might feature Darkseid for some reason. I wished he would leave that character alone. But they're gonna do it. So, but I hope that you enjoy it. I really do. But I'm also not wrong to not like it. And I told you my reasons for it. There's poor writing in the script and it. The entire shared universe is completely disjointed. It was rushed. That was the big problem. It was rushed. And you can see it in every single one of those films just how rushed it really was. But hey, HBO Max 2021, I hope that I'm proven wrong and this is just a fantastic film. And I hope that, people are able to say to me, see, I told you so. Because at the end of the day, we're all fans in one way or the other. We all are. We just enjoy things differently. And that's okay. Guys, if you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. I got no subscribers. Take care of yourself and each other, I guess. I need a catchphrase for the end of these things. Hashtag, give me a catchphrase. Catch you guys later.